Well, that was the final item from Thoresby Colliery Band under the direction of their MD Lee Skipsey. That was Enter the Galaxies by Paul Lovett Cooper. In the break now we're going to be joined by our guest David Hurst and Dominic Riddler from Unite the Union Band. But before we talk to them, just to tell you that the next band on will be the Shepherd Group Band under the musical director Richard Wilton. They'll be opening with Phoenix from War of the Worlds, which these gentlemen on the side we will know about, followed by the Goldcrest March, which we could possibly have a bit of singing in that one. When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2 with the soloist Paul Stamp on flugelhorn. Painted Black by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. Can't beat a bit of Rolling Stones. And then we have Escape Velocity by Martin Cordner. So that's coming up with the Shepherd Group Band in a few minutes under their MD Richard Wilton. So before then, back to the two gentlemen who have already had something to celebrate today.
Right, yes.
Unite the Union won the first section. David, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You've decided to go into two sections for this competition, you know. Were the band delighted when you came up with that decision?
Absolutely delighted. We couldn't wait for it.
We thought, yes, the contest may be over mid-afternoon, relaxation. But it's playing once on a contest day, the adrenaline, that part of it as well, not just the technical part of it, but getting back up again, getting the band back up to do the same type of performance. There's only one difference in the piece, it was a reprise.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
Faces difficulties as well to do that with the band?
Yes, it's always difficult to get that freshness back in the first performance, obviously, which as you say, there's a little bit of tension with it. And the second performance, it's, I wouldn't say it's going through the motions, actually, but it's a little bit more relaxed, I think, there.
Did it help that you knew you'd already won the first section when you went back on stage?
I don't know, to be honest. We weren't thinking about that. We were sort of starting afresh, really, with the championship section, because we knew we had a sort of quite difficult bands to beat, really, in that respect. So I mean, we were really playing for our sort of debut once again in the championship section in January, obviously. So we wanted to compete against championship section bands to sort of remeasure what the abilities of the band and where it actually stood. That was the reason for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's fair to say, I mean, Unite is one of these bands that has occasional spells in the first section, up for a year or two, back down for a year or two. Call them yo-yo bands up our way.
That's right.
You know, is there anything you can do as a band to try and establish yourself and get that foothold in the championship section?
It's a difficult one, because often it can be a geographical problem, really. If you haven't got many bands now surrounding you, as a lot of the colliery bands and local village bands have sort of disappeared, you haven't got that sort of ready pool of players there to actually draw from. And the top 5 bands will always get players, because that's the magnet for young players and sort of old players as well, who want to really play with a top ensemble. So the likes of Grimethorpe and Brighouse and Black Dyke will always have that magnet, but it's much more difficult once you come down a little bit further in the sort of structure of the championship section. And indeed other sections face the same problem as well.
Talking about young players, about the young gentleman who's on the side of you, Dominic Riddler. You've been on percussion for about 4 years. Yeah. So I was going to ask you there, one of the attractions was surely being playing 2 contest performances on the same day there. But apart from that, what is it about Unite that you need to attract you there? You've been with 4 years there, you know, as I said, there's a lot of big bands up in Yorkshire, always on the lookout for talented players, etc. But what's the key for you with Unite?
I think a lot of it has to be the entertainment programmes and playing, especially as a kit player, primarily in percussionist, full stop, really. A lot of the old school brass band music can be quite dull on percussion, to put it bluntly. There's only so much you can get out of playing a snare drum for 20 minutes. Rat-a-tat-tat. But,
yes, I'll tell you what the next programme
But it's really nice to get on the drum kit, really, and a lot of these modern, more recent arrangements coming out really kit heavy, and some of them are so badly written for drum kit in terms of the dots on the page. You're pretty much given the rein to do what you like. So especially something like, I mean, All Night Long is a very famous one. Played that this morning with Sheffield University brass band. The kit part almost non-existent, really. So
bit of Lionel Richie, was it, this morning?
Richie, yeah. That's a great tune.
It is early in the morning for like, but
a little bit.
It's on a Sunday morning,
isn't it? But that's the key for you for something like that, is being part of a band that's got a...
Absolutely.
We would call progressive outlook, instead of going back and do the traditional thing.
And it's not just about playing the big pieces as well. I mean, as a percussionist, I made a joke about playing these old school pieces, but actually they're really good discipline in terms of your playing and your sight reading. It's something that all percussionists, really, drummers, really should just have a go at, because it really does discipline you. And if you do get a cracking, band in the first championship section, you've always got that reward of doing the big pieces as well. Your Chuna Sanchez and your South Trasperado, like we played, and all night long as well. So yeah, it's definitely worth doing brass banding as a percussionist to really improve your skills, I think.
Well, you see, we're of a certain age, you see, when percussionists did used to be just a side drum, a cymbal, a bass drum. If xylophone was, well, don't go into that nonsense. But it's great to see that, and you enjoying it and being encouraged in doing it with Unite as well.
As long as I don't ask for my rim, I'm all right.
Is it? You don't do the two, yeah, they always get somebody else in, there's lots of notes to play for that one. So congratulations, David, it's best with United. We wish you well in the championship section, and wish you well as well. You've got time off now. You must have time for another pint to get there.
That's right.
Driving home now.
So I hope it is. We'll enjoy the rest of it there. And for the time being, that will be it from these two. Yeah, we go back to the hall for Shepherd Group under MD Richard Wilton, and they'll be opening their programme with Phoenix from War of the Worlds.